But truth is an element that cannot be burned to ash. Even through the soot of destroyed documents, the reality of what happened began to claw its way toward the light. Operation Midnight Climax. Ordinary brothels in San Francisco were converted into secret laboratories, where scientific torture was masked by a facade of vice. Agents spent countless hours observing their unsuspecting victims through two-way mirrors, meticulously documenting every twitch and every reaction to the drugs. Drugs were administered to people without their knowledge or consent. On the city streets, a state of chaos began to unfold, orchestrated from the comfort of dark mahogany offices. The minds of many who survived these events were shattered forever. Their reality was fractured, leaving behind only the jagged shards of fear and permanent paranoia. Frank Olson was one of the scientists who knew far too much. He had seen the dark underbelly of the project and found he could no longer maintain his silence. His mysterious fall from a high-rise New York hotel window in the dead of night shocked the nation and marked the beginning of the end for the Great Deception. His family would spend the next several decades in a relentless pursuit of the truth, fighting to prove that his death was neither a tragic accident nor a simple suicide. But the tentacles of these experiments had already reached beyond U.S. borders. In Montreal, Canada, within the walls of the Allen Memorial Institute, the violations continued under the guise of psychiatric care. Dr. Ewan Cameron held a fervent belief in the possibility of total neural reprogramming. To him, a personality was nothing more than a sequence of algorithms to be rewritten. Patients who had come seeking healing were instead placed into artificial comas for months at a time, severed from any connection to the outside world. From speakers mounted on the hospital walls, a monotonous voice droned on 24 hours a day, repeating the same scripted phrases tens of thousands of times over. These individuals lost the most precious thing they owned, their memories. They forgot their names, their loved ones, and their entire pasts, becoming nothing more than living ghosts. Yet, the evidence scattered across the globe could not be entirely erased. There is always a witness who survives, or a document that somehow escapes the fire. In 1974, the courageous journalist Seymour Hersh delivered the first crushing blow to the wall of silence, publishing his landmark investigative report. The world shuddered as it began to grasp the true magnitude of the betrayal committed by those sworn to protect the citizenry. In the halls of the U.S. Senate, emergency hearings were convened. The Church Committee demanded direct answers to questions that no one had dared to ask before. "We did it for the sake of national security and the survival of the nation." These were their justifications, delivered in cold, practiced tones before the rolling cameras. But what is the true price of a security that is paid for with the human soul and the fundamental freedom of choice? Many of those who survived the experiments never received so much as an apology, let alone compensation for their decimated lives. Their identities remained broken into 1,000 sharp pieces, fragments that could never be made whole again, even after decades of therapy. Did this truly end when the project was officially shuttered? Today, technology has advanced far beyond the wildest and darkest fantasies of Sidney Gottlieb. The glowing screen of your smartphone in a darkened room is a new window, one through which you are observed and which you gaze into with that same hypnotic trance. Today's social media algorithms understand our desires and our deepest fears better than we are willing to admit to ourselves. MKUltra was merely a first, crude attempt to hack the complex code of human behavior. Today, the methods have become infinitely more elegant. The dark towers of modern metropolises are bristling with antennas that broadcast meaning directly into our subconscious, working more quietly and dangerously than any drug. The boundary between our biology and our digital technology is rapidly blurring, creating a new and formidable reality. Voluntarily, hour by hour, we surrender our attention and our thoughts to those who know exactly how to convert them into data and control. Neurobiology has become the new, invisible battlefield for the future of humanity, a war in which there is no discernible front line. The entity that owns your attention and directs your focus effectively owns your reality. The history of Project MKUltra is not just a chapter in a textbook. It is a stark, haunting warning from our collective past. Your mind is the final and most critical fortress of liberty, and it is up to you alone to decide how strong its walls will be. Preserving clarity of thought and the sovereignty of the self in the modern age is our most vital and difficult challenge. They will never stop trying to find a way inside your head, utilizing new interfaces and increasingly subtle methods of psychological manipulation. Officially, the project was closed decades ago, but the ideas that fueled it continue to live on in evolved, more sophisticated forms. What else lies hidden in the deep archives of the intelligence services? Documents that, by some stroke of luck or fate, missed the incinerators in '73. Free will is the one thing they desperately tried to steal from us then, and the very thing they seek to regulate now. A new generation has already been born and raised in a world where digital manipulation is simply the standard background noise of life. In the present day, manipulation has become virtually invisible. It masks itself as convenience, entertainment, and personalized content. Can you truly sleep in peace, knowing how vulnerable and fragile our psyche remains in the face of modern science? We are all invisibly bound by digital threads, and within this connectivity lies both our greatest strength and our ultimate vulnerability. Who do you truly trust with your most private thoughts when you are alone with yourself in the glow of your screen? A profound understanding of history and the mechanics of control is your only reliable defense against any attempt to seize your mind. But true knowledge requires immense courage. The courage to look directly into the eyes of the most uncomfortable and terrifying truths. A single movement, one conscious choice, has the power to change everything and sever the chains of invisible control. This was only the first chapter of a long and unfinished story regarding the struggle for human consciousness. Subscribe to our channel to continue exploring the deepest and most dangerous secrets of this world along with us.